Okay, if you've been scrolling through the fish keeping corners of the internet or, actually stepped foot in a local fish store recently, you definitely have seen some personalities. We're talking about the iconic archetypes of the aquarium world. The ones who will make you nod along and maybe cringe a little and definitely wonder, wait, is that me? Oh, get ready, because we're going to spill the tea on fish keepers you absolutely, positively will meet. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to be asking yourself, okay, seriously, which one am I? All right, first up, we've got the Saltwater Guy. You know him, you love him, or tolerate him. This is the fish keeper whose Instagram feed is exclusively vibrant reef tanks, probably with some insane high-def macro shots of zoanthids or something. They're always flexing their latest coral frag, usually some rare designer piece that, look, I'm just gonna say it looks a little bit sus, real on a stick vibe, They scoff at freshwater tanks, calling them beginner level, and oh my goodness, they'll absolutely call you a freshie with this air of supreme reef-inducing superiority. It's a whole thing. Interestingly, a lot of these folks were deep into BRS, bulk reef supply, practically cultists, but ever since BRS got scooped up by private equity, they've kind of distanced themselves. It's giving sellout energy, I guess. Their devotion to the reef is unmatched, and honestly, you gotta respect the commitment even if their judgmental gaze can, sting a little. They're out here dropping serious coin on controllers in the latest protein skimmer, making sure their LPS and SBS corals are thriving, because anything less than perfection is, well, an L. Next, let's talk about the overstocker. This fish keeper is a marvel of delusion. You're gonna see their posts in Facebook groups, right? They've somehow crammed, crammed, okay? A truly wild assortment of, say, 14 different fish species into a 10-gallon tank. We're talking mollies, platies, a couple of corydoras, maybe even a tiny pleco that's destined to become a monster, all in a space that realistically should house maybe 2 guppies. And when you gently, or not so gently suggest it might be a bit overcrowded, their go-to line is always, they're doing fine. Like, sis, are they really fine, or are they just surviving on the aquatic equivalent of a mosh pit? They really do believe their fish are vibing, even if the ammonia levels are probably telling a different story. It's a classic case of good intentions going wildly awry. Ooh, okay, then we have the equipment flexer. This fish keeper is all about the latest and greatest tech. Their tank might be visually a bog standard rectangle with some artificial plants, but oh boy, the gear they're running. They've got top of the line canister filter with Bluetooth connectivity, the fancy LED light that costs more than your rent, a CO2 system that belongs in a laboratory, and a heater that could probably warm a small swimming pool. They'll drop brand names you've only seen in super niche online forums, and they'll happily tell you the par ratings of their lighting setup, even if their actual aquascape is giving meh energy. It's less about the fish and more about the wattage, the flow rate, and the sheer bragging rights of owning the most expensive, most advanced equipment on the market. They're basically the hype beasts of fish keeping world, but for aquatic tech. Ooh, this one hits different, right? It's the just one more tank guy. You've seen their transformation. What started as a humble 10-gallon in the living room has slowly, incrementally turned their entire living space into, how do I describe this? A small to medium-sized aquarium shop. There's a 20-gallon long in the kitchen, a 40-gallon breeder in the hallway, and a couple of nano tanks on the bedside table, and probably a massive show tank dominating the dining room. Every empty wall, every clear surface is just screaming for another tank. Their significant others probably having weekly existential crises, and their utility bill is definitely crying. See, folks, this isn't just a hobby for them, it's a full-blown takeover. We're talking serious hoarding behavior, but with fish. Honestly, at this point, they don't need another tank, they need an intervention. Like, seriously, bro, where are you gonna sit? And now, round of applause, we have the Rescuer. These guys are the divas of the fish-keeping community, the ones who scour Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for those heartbreaking posts. I've given away my fish, tank included, moving, don't care. They see a desperate betta in a half-gallon bowl or a group of stressed goldfish in a tiny murky tank and their heart just breaks. They'll drive across town, shoot, sometimes across the state, in the dead of night to save these aquatic underdogs. And don't even get them started on Petco or PetSmart. While they're out there blasting those corporate pet store practices for their neglectful conditions, they're simultaneously going out of their way to save any fish they deem to be suffering there. They're the ones who give neglected fish a second chance, meticulously rehabilitating them in proper setups. It's a noble pursuit, really, even if their house sometimes looks like a triage unit for finned friends. They're on a mission, and honestly, we stand, baby. We stand. But that brings me to the breeder. No, not them with the fish, you sicko. Oh, the breeder. This person set up his less aquarium and more fish maternity ward. They've got tanks for every single stage of fry development, probably labeled meticulously. You'll see a tank with a single pair ready to spawn, another with newly hatched fry, and then tanks for juvenile fish, and finally, grow out tanks for the teenagers. Their focus isn't just keeping fish, it's about genetics, lineage, and producing the next generation. They're probably tracking bloodlines and selectively breeding for specific traits, whether it's the perfect red coloration in guppies or the most robust finnage on their angels. Their commitment to the life cycle is truly next level, and their conversations often revolve around water parameters for optimal spawning and the intricate dance of egg laying. It's a whole other level of dedication that most casual hobbyists wouldn't even think about touching. Alright, next up is a fish keeper who sees a problem and thinks, I can build that. Why buy a sump when you can meticulously craft one out of acrylic sheets and silicone? Why shell out for a fancy stand when you can weld one yourself? In their early days, these were the folks dreaming of becoming the next DIY king of the aquarium world, posting elaborate build threads on forums with step-by-step instructions. I mean, they built custom cabinets, filtration systems, and maybe even a whole entire tank from scratch. Their garage is probably filled with tools, PVC pipes, and various half-finished projects, because they love the challenge. They love the process of creation, and the satisfying action of saying, yeah, I made that. They're the innovators, the tinkerers, and sometimes the ones with a really impressive scar or two from a rogue power tool incident. Okay, we can't not talk about the Aquascaping Perfectionist. These people are on a different plane of existence. Their tanks aren't just filled with fish, they're meticulously crafted living works of art. We're talking about perfectly manicured plant layouts, stunning hardscape using dragonstone or spiderwood, and a precise balance of foreground, midground, and background plants. They run CO2 systems with atomic diffusers. They obsess over the latest and greatest full spectrum lighting, and they swear by every single word that comes out of Green Aqua's mouth. Seriously, trying to call their nature aquarium a fish tank to their face? Oh yeah, they're gonna be offended. It's like calling a Michelin star meal food. And don't even mention father fish setups around them. They'll probably scoff so hard their perfectly trimmed carpets will vibrate in anger. For them, the fish are almost secondary. The aesthetic is everything. It's a true dedication to the art form. But speaking of dedication, next up is the rare fish hunter. This fish keeper's the Pokemon collector of the aquatic world. They'll drop $300 or more on a single fish, usually something obscure with a Latin name that no one can pronounce, with the immediate goal of trying to proudly announce, I'm literally the only person in my aquarium club who owns this fish, dude. See, these guys chase the thrill of exclusivity, of having something truly unique. And honestly, whether that rare specimen comes from a responsibly bred source or was, plucked from the wild in some remote corner of the globe, sometimes that seems to be a secondary concern. They can give off those weird exotic game hunter vibes where the scarcity is the main draw. It's all about the flex, the prestige, and the satisfaction of owning a living, breathing aquatic unicorn. Oh man, I can see the comments now. The advice commenter. You know this one. Yeah. They haunt every forum, every YouTube comment section, every Facebook group. Their way is always right, period. How dare you think otherwise? I mean, you could post a picture of a perfectly healthy, thriving tank, and they will find something to critique. They'll judge everything you say, everything you do, and every piece of advice that you offer, even if you've been in the hobby for decades. The wildest part, though? They may not even own a tank now, or maybe they did like a decade ago, and that's their entire qualification. Their expertise is like purely theoretical, yet they present it with an unwavering confidence of a seasoned professional. They're the ultimate armchair experts, ready to dunk on your setup at any given moment. I'm not saying critiquing is bad, like it's good to have somebody to help you out, but maybe when people ask for it. Oh, the lost parent. The Fishkeeper's journey begins with 2 words: finding Nemo. Their kid just discovered Dory and Marlin, and now suddenly they need a Nemo fish. This parent, bless their innocent soul, will walk into a local fish store and probably ask that poor employee if a clownfish can comfortably live in a goldfish bowl. Oh, you can see the panic in their eyes, the complete lack of understanding, but also that desperate parental love driving them forward. They just want to make their kid happy, even if it means trying to defy basic aquatic biology. It's a mix of adorable and, well, to be honest, utterly heartbreaking for anyone who knows a thing or two about fish keeping. They're learning, slowly, but often with a lot of misinformation absorbed from animated movies. Oh yes. And behold, the Shrimp Whisperer, my new Baldur's Gate character. These individuals are on a whole other level of micromanagement. They are obsessed with color grading, genetics, and shrimp lineages. They know every single shrimp family tree better than they know their own. We're talking Neocardina, Cardina, Crystal Reds, Black Kings, Pintos. They know the nuances of each, and don't you dare try to impress them with your basic cherry shrimp. They will absolutely talk you down for only owning Neocardina shrimp, because, well, those are mid-tier in their elite world of expensive, genetically pure shrimp. You know what they do? They spend hours staring at tiny, translucent crustaceans, meticulously documenting breeding patterns and aiming for that perfect high-grade specimen. It's a quiet, intense, and incredibly specialized corner of the hobby. All right, this one's wild. This is the I can keep anything mythbuster. They watch my channel, they see all the warnings, and they just swear that they can keep fish like pea puffers and tiger barbs with timid, peaceful community fish. And somehow, through what can only be described as a direct intervention of the universe, they occasionally do pull it off. Their tiger barbs are somehow chill, their pea puffers are not nipping fins, and their tank is defying all logical explanations. You guys are immediately in the comments section telling everyone that we're wrong and that conventional wisdom is for losers and, well, just do what I did to make it work. They're basically the living embodiment of, it worked for me, and they're probably already drafting their application to be the new technical editor of Aquarium for Dummies 4th edition, replacing yours truly. That's right. Chaotic good, maybe? Yeah, anyways. Then we've got the YouTube guru Parrot. This Fishkeepers vocabulary is basically a patchwork quilt of phrases from their favorite YouTubers. Hopefully Aquarium Store Depot. Yeah, Corey says sponge filters are the best, but MD Fish Tanks uses hang-on backs, and KG Tropical said, wait, what was it again? Their favorite phrase is, and I mean their absolute favorite phrase, is, I saw a guy on YouTube do this with no problems. They're constantly trying to reconcile conflicting advice from different creators, and that often gets themselves into a mental pretzel. Their knowledge base is vast, but it's all secondhand, unprocessed, and often contradictory. These fellows are the living embodiment of the fish-keeping echo chamber, constantly referencing online authorities without necessarily understanding the underlying principles. And finally, let's shine a light on the Lighting Addict. This fish keeper will spend more on their lights than on the rest of their entire tank setup combined. They obsess over par ratings, Kelvin temperatures, and spectral distribution curves. Oh, and you best believe they own a par reader, probably calibrate it weekly, and their conversations revolve around optimizing plant growth with precise light wavelengths. They might got a cheap filter and some pretty basic substrate, but their lighting system is state of the art, man. Multiple channels, sunrise, sunset modes, and oh yeah, you better believe there's a price tag in there that'll make your wallet weep. Sometimes, in their intense focus on illumination, they don't quite recognize the critical importance of a balanced CO2 system. Or proper fertilization. But hey, their tank is pretty bright, right? Anyways, it's all fun and games here. You have it. The Fishkeeper archetypes that you're bound to encounter. Which one are you, though? Seriously. Let us know in the comments below. And if I missed any iconic types, feel free to spill the tea. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more fish keeping fun. We're out.